Hello everyone and welcome to a new Zenphi tutorial. Today we're going to be going over how you can set up a flow to automate the process of extracting fields from a PDF. In this case we're going to be using an invoice, but you can use this for if you have any claim documents, if you want to be able to extract data from resumes, for example. You can apply this to any department. First we're going to set up our trigger, so I'm using the Google Drive trigger. That way you can easily drop PDFs and be able to start your flow. So this is going to be what's going to kickstart our process. Simply set up your connection, which is going to grant Zenphi permission to be able to access your account, and then select which folder you want to monitor by clicking on the Google Drive icon. We'll go ahead and add the generate text with Gemini action. You can rename it to something like extract fields from PDF, for example. We'll go ahead and go to the settings of the action. If you have your own API keys, make sure to toggle this. And you can choose from the different models that are available. Now the system instructions field is what's going to set the tone as to how you want it to respond. So here you can indicate things like, for example, I'm letting it know that I needed to return a JSON schema. I wanted to return the invoice total amount as a string, and to make sure it retains the currency symbol for the invoice date, I'm also indicating the format I want the date to be in. So these are all things that you can indicate in this section. Meanwhile, the prompt is simply a question, an instruction for AI to follow. So here I'm letting it know what I wanted to extract, and I want to make sure I use the token picker to add the file from our trigger. That way it actually has the information from the file. Since I wanted to return an output as JSON, I'm going to enable this option, and you can play around with these values if needed. I'm going to link a community post down below that's going to show you best practices when it comes to Gemini. That way you can make sure you set up this action as best as possible. One of the tips in that post is to make sure you include a JSON schema example. That way it always follows the same format. So I'm going to go ahead and paste it in the prompt like so. If you don't know how to generate this yourself, I'm going to give you a really quick hack. Add a log to history action, click on the token picker, select the generated output, and we're going to run the flow once. I'll go ahead and select a file, click start. Once we've run that, we can go ahead and go to the logs, and we're going to have a sample here that we can easily copy and use in our example. Now, if we look at the output of the action, we currently only have the generated output, but I want to be able to see each specific field individually. So to do that, we're going to use the JSON to object action. You can change the name. So if you want it to be parse fields, you can do that. Click on the settings. We're going to click on the token picker, generated output, and here where it says schema, we're going to click on the dials, and we're going to go ahead and paste our example here. So whether you created the example yourself or you copied it from the log to history, you're going to click infer from sample, save and close. And now if we look at the output, now I have each field individually. So if I want to be able to add them either to a Google Sheet, a table, if I want to add it to an email, I can do that. And that would be everything. You would be able to follow this exact method to be able to extract any fields from any PDFs. Remember, our Gemini action also supports text. It supports videos, photos, audio. So really you can use this for any of your media. Thank you so much for watching.